So you got shafted, but which 11th anniversary LR should you pity with your hard-earned coins? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here, and we're back for another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we are having that hard conversation. You're here because you hit pity. You got shafted on the banners. Or, hey, maybe you just really wanted to summon, and you went in deep on these banners. And now you're sitting on 500 Dokkan Fest or Carnival Exchange coins. And you might be wondering, well, which unit is worth the pity? Well, in this video, we're going to break down all 4 anniversary LRs and give our recommendation for the best unit to use with your pity coins. So, first thing to note is that these coins are available through your summons on the 11th anniversary banners and only on the 11th anniversary banners. That means coins gained from previous celebrations in exchange do not count to this. It is only the coins within this celebration. Now, as far as that number is concerned, you gain 10 coins per summon for full multi-summon, per 50 stone summons, which means it would take about 2,500 stones in order to acquire 500 of the coins in order to exchange. And now the neat thing about these is these coins are exchangeable back and forth, meaning if you pulled 500 Dokkan Fest coins, you can exchange them into the Carnival coins and exchange for a Carnival unit, and vice versa. Or in between, you can combine your two into whichever one you need most, and then pity for that unit. So know that this is not an easy feat. 2,500 stones is a lot. So you want to make sure that that 2,500 stone investment was worth the case. And so let's start by breaking down the units. We'll start with the Part 1 units here, right? So things to note about the Part 1 LRs. Starting with the Dokkan Fest LR STR, Daim Goku. He is the character who introduces the the EX super skill, right? He is probably one of the better uses of it. I know a lot of people complain, but about its activation, but for the most part, right, now that, he's got a lot of good partners that give him orbs, you can consistently proc this ability. And the ability, right, 40% attack for 2 turns for your allies is huge. Plus his own 140% attack raise means this dude can do an insane amount of damage once he gets going with these procs. It is procced 77%. Which can be hit or miss, but as long as you're making sure you get the crit, then all you're worrying about is that 77%. In terms of his kit is really good. He supports Daima and Goku's family characters, which is pretty much everybody here in the 11th anniversary, for 40% on top of his super attack support. He's got a good damage reduction rate, which means he's got good defense, right? And as long as he's in the first slot, he's also given allies an additional 40% attack. And that means, Goku's family or Daima characters are actually getting 80% attack from him, including whatever they're getting from his super attack effect. So it's really nice. He's a great supporting unit, a great unit overall, conditions to the EX super excluded. But that's not what is really the driving factor to him. Really, I mean, the thing you need to think about when you're talking about who to pity is really their leader skill. And Daima Goku has that in spade. Daima, Battle of Fate, and Goku's families is an incredible leader skill. Daima is, of course, very limited, but the Battle of Fate and Goku's family with these subcategories of full power and Kamehameha means that Goku covers a wide swath of characters, right? Goku's family being one of the largest categories in the game, and obviously a lot of the best units in the game happen to fall under Goku's family, right? Same with Battle of Fate, because Battle of Fate tends to be those big boss battles, right? So your anniversary, your WWC LRs tend to be on that leader skill as well. So it's a great leader skill for someone, right? If you had got every anniversary unit except this guy, you would definitely be missing out because the leader skill is amazing. especially as a new player, right? This is going to be the most universal leader skill for you. Taking a look at the other half of the part one, right? The Earth-shattering climax Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. We have the Carnival Vegeta. Now, he is interesting because he's the only Carnival lead with a double lead, a 220 Carnival lead with a double lead for Daima and Vegeta's family. Of course, that's probably because Daima is such a limited category, they had to open it up. But nonetheless, it still works. He's nothing too crazy. Like, he is good, right? He's nothing too crazy, right? But where he comes into play is the continued activation of his EX Super, right? His EX Super actually procs on his 12 key. And when it procs, right, for every time it procs, he raises defense for allies for 3 turns. Now, his proc is only a 50% proc on the 12 key, but it's really nice. Not only does it help him raise defense for himself for 4 turns, but the allies is where it really comes in. Where he really starts to help out other characters, especially the Goku, is his turn 3, when you can start using his active skill, which gives allies key 3 for 3 turns, which helps out Goku get his EX Super. And then, of course, starting from the 4th turn, you know, his ally support, right? Giving Diamond class characters guard for 2 turns, and in the 2nd slot, and defense 30 and guard for 3 turns if he floats in the 3rd slot. It's a really great ability, helps out a lot of the Diamond characters since it's a very limited category. So he is really good, and both Daima Goku and Daima Vegeta do insane damage, right? Once Vegeta gets built up after those first couple of hits and EX Supers, he starts really putting out the damage, and it's really nice. So really good there. Moving on, right, we have the LR Super Saiyan 4s, the Dokkan Fest for the part 2. They lead GT Heroes, Power of Wishes, and Power Beyond Super Saiyan. And really the interesting part for them is how you play these guys, right? Vegeta is a long event stacker. That means the longer the event goes on, the more powerful Vegeta gets. But Vegeta never gets too powerful on his own, mainly because he lacks crit, although he does have effective against all types as long as you get the 14 or more key. But for the most part, he's really, you know, he's just there to stack. His damage and stats are really low, which allow him to stack up. And after a few turns, right, once you start picking up 3 or 4 rainbow key spheres, which is not always easy to do, but once you start picking them up, right, he becomes near invincible after a couple of turns. Because his defense is actually raises really quick, especially if you get his EX Super. Now his EX Super is easy to proc because you only need 24 key, and it has a 70% chance to proc. And his EX Super allows him to stack 44% attack and defense instead of just a regular 20% defense raise and a 44% attack raise. So it's really nice. It really helps him stack fast, right? He's like the Kai Goku. He can build up his defense very quick, and with the added damage reduction means that most bosses aren't going to be able to touch him after 2 or 3 turns of stacking now. But that's not really where the interesting part comes in, right? See, all of this stacking is to support the other side of the card, which is the Goku, right? The Goku is your all-out offense character. Once you're done stacking up with Vegeta, you will be switching over to Goku and launching his active skill, which buffs GT and Power of Wishes allies for the turn, as well as changing key spheres. And those changing key spheres allow him to hit additional super attacks, as well as giving him critical hit. And right, all of that stack, right, that you do with Vegeta then gets multiplied by 400%. So he ends up being crazy powerful, right? Like an example, in Festival of Battles, by the end, you're having your Vegeta probably hit 120 million. But once you switch into Goku, right, now you're hitting 400 to 500 million. It's an insane difference. But that's the purpose, right? To launch this active skill and start doing big damage. It's very clear that this card is intentionally designed to not only buff the Goku, let Goku do big damage, but also buff the incoming Year 8 Spirit Bomb characters. So really, really powerful card. But where he falls is sort of his leader skill. He does have a decent leader skill, right? GT Heroes, Power Wishes, Power Beyond Super Saiyan. Power Beyond Super Saiyan is a pretty wide category, but his other two get a little bit more limited. There's some good characters on Power of Wishes, right? Like you've got your, like if we just click on this real quick, you can see like we've got some decent characters, right? That are even potentially going to easy A soon, such as this guy, right? It gives us access to Kai Goku, the Year 8s, Piccolo, the year sevens. There's quite a lot of characters here that are on their on their 200% leader skill for these guys. So it's a decent skill, but I do feel that Daim Goku's leader skill is significantly better than their leader skill. Moving over, of course, we have his opposite, the UI Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta. Much like the the other Year 11 character, right? The purpose of the UI Goku is to dodge and stall until you can transfer into Vegeta and use his active skill. He builds up attack and defense for 3 turns, so it's not super long stacking. He's more geared for short, medium fights, and supporting Realm of Gods characters. So it's really nice, right? Realm of Gods superclass characters end up with 60% support from this guy, added to, right, the additional dodge support on turn 1. So that means, like, not only does he himself have guaranteed dodge on turn 1, this additional 14% can help a lot of other characters get to near perfect dodge on turn 1, right? Like the Blues have 85%, they would be getting 14% dodge support here, which puts them in 99% dodge for the turn 1. So that's really nice, or 98%, but close enough, right? So that's really good. His EX Super also allows him to be invincible post Super. If he does manage to proc it with the 24 key, he will evade enemies' attack for the turn. So he's a really good character for dodging and support. But his offense tends to be a little low, like the other Vegeta, right? Once you switch into Vegeta, he is the Goku version of this card. His job is all-out offense. He's got 100% damage reduction rate on his first turn, and switches into some big hits once you use that active skill, right? Because as long as you get the key, of course, right? You know, with 12 key, he's got 77% attack, 18 key, 77% attack, and then on that active skill, or with 24 key, you're getting an additional 277% attack, right? So he's going to be doing big numbers combined with what he's getting from his active skill. So, I mean, just like with the other one, the point is build up UI Goku, switch into Vegeta, do big damage, right? That's the basic play, which is really, really good. The damage output on these characters in short fights is insane. So the question of all of this is, well, who do I pity? Well, if we were to look at rankings, right, rankings would tell you UI Goku is the #1 unit in the game, but that may not be the unit you need to pity, right? See, the thing about that is you have to consider who you've pulled already. If you've pulled every anniversary except one, then yeah, you take the one that you didn't get. If you've pulled every anniversary LR except 2, well, then now you have to balance the weight of the 2 you're missing, right? If you've balanced, if you've completely got shafted on the entire banner and you're wondering who you should grab, well, that's what this question is here to answer. So if you completely missed every anniversary unit, I'm going to be honest with you, moving forward throughout the next year, I'm going to say that Daim Goku is actually the best choice to take here. And again, it is because of his leader skill. He does have the best leader skill that will carry you forward through the year, especially if you're a new player. Like if you're a new player with limited teams and limited access to categories, this character will pretty much cover every unit you will pull in the foreseeable future. If not, at the very least, he covers just about every unit on the anniversary banners. So it's if you got no other unit, this would be the best unit for you. Second to that would be the LR Super Saiyan Force. And this isn't just my bias for Super Saiyan Force talking. It is strictly because of their leader skill. If you are a new player or someone who missed every single unit, the characters we see throughout this year are likely going to be on their leader skill. So at the very least, having these guys, one of these guys, will help you carry throughout the year, especially as we move into meta shifts at Golden Week, and even more so at GDC. You're gonna need somebody with a lead, right? And this will help. I would stray away from the pitying the Carnival LRs unless, of course, you had everyone else. I know it's tempting to go for the UI Goku because people claim he's #1 in the game, and they're not necessarily wrong, but it's tough to say to take him over the other characters because, you know, it's a carnival lead. You're probably not going to be running him as lead very often. And if you don't have the new leads to run him on, you're stuck running him on older leads. And if you didn't pull on the New Year's units, you don't have a recent lead for this guy, right? Unless you have Tech Mini Daim Goku, but that's it. That's pretty much all you got. Or the Bonham Master Disciple for part 2 of the Christmas celebration, which most people didn't summon for either. So you're really in a predicament if this is the guy you take over the others, because you really won't have a place to run him over his own team. And that's not to say that that's bad, right? As we learned from GT Super Saiyan 4 Goku here, last year, his lead ended up evolving incredibly over the course of the year. And it's very possible with the return of Dragon Ball Super that that could happen this year. So this is an investment character. He's not going to benefit you immediately if you didn't have the other characters, other than just being really good at what he does. But if you're looking for benefit down the line, then you want to be looking at pitying one of the Dokkan Fests. And my recommendation is for the Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So, guys, that is it for the video. That is my recommendation for who to pity. I know it's a crazy pick. I know not a lot of people are going to be happy for it, but I thought long and hard about what is going to be the best moving forward. And I think it's best to approach this from the leader skill standpoint, right? Especially if you're a newer player, you're going to need good leads to carry you forward. So, guys, that's it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know who did you end up pitying? All right. Did you lose everybody? Did you get shafted and you are considering pitying somebody here? Let us know who in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching and aloha.